G'day everyone, welcome to Inside Rugby with Mark. If you haven't been here before, my name is Mark. I'm a huge rugby fan. I'm a Kiwi and I'm living here in beautiful Cancun in Mexico. Now, something different in this video. I thought we'd play a little bit of a game today, and what we're going to do is we're going to choose one forward and one back from each team in this year's Rugby Championship who we think might be a game changer in their respective games across the Rugby Championship. So you've got to put your thinking caps on and just come up with one forward and one back from each team that's really going to be a standout and potentially be a game changer in this year's competition. Okay, let's get into it, and we'll start off with the All Blacks and who's going to stand out as far as I'm concerned. Well, the forward I've chosen that I think will be a game changer across the Rugby Championship this year is Ardie Savea. Yes, Ardie always stands up and provides the All Blacks with great leadership and great momentum. He's that guy that can make a difference in a game by putting on a great break or also a great defensive play that can change the course of the momentum in a game. So I'm picking Ardie Savea for my forward from the All Blacks that's going to stand out in this Rugby Championship series. Okay, so moving on to the backs for the All Blacks, and I think the standout throughout the Rugby Championship is once again going to be Will Jordan. I think his ability to score tries, to break open defences is second to none across the world rugby. You've only got to look at his try scoring record. He's an absolute genius and he can get the All Blacks out of all sorts of trouble at different times. So I think that Will Jordan is going to be the standout back for the All Blacks throughout this year's Rugby Championship. Okay, now let's move on to Australia. Okay, so who's the forward I think for the Wallabies that's going to make a difference in this year's Rugby Championship? Well, for me, it's going to be Rob Valetini. Yes, the number 6 is going to have to put in some big shifts across the Rugby Championship this year if the Wallabies are going to have any chance in upsetting some of the top dogs in this year's competition. And the longer that the Wallabies can keep Rob Valetini on the field of play, I think it's going to make all the difference to that Wallaby team. So I think he's going to be the standout player for the Wallabies across this year's Rugby Championship in the forwards. Okay, so moving on to the backs for the Wallabies, and who do I think will be the standout player for them throughout the Rugby Championship? Well, I think it's going to be Len Ikitau. I was super impressed with Ikitau with his performances across the Lions series, and I think he's really started to develop in that number 12 jersey. He's got some very, very good attacking moves in terms of his technique that he uses off both feet. He goes low in the tackle as well, so he's able to get through a tackle and come out the other side. And he's also very good at connecting with his outside backs. His defensive work was brilliant on some of those occasions in that third test match when he was close to the line, and he was also brilliant on attack when the Wallabies were close to the line. He nearly went over on a couple of occasions with little darting runs that he picked up the ball from the base of the ruck and had a go himself, and that's the kind of player that Len Ikitau is. So I think he's going to be a standout for the Wallabies in the back line across the Rugby Championship. Let me know who you think is going to be the standout for the Wallabies. I'd love to hear in the comments. Okay, moving on to Argentina. Of course, their first game is against the All Blacks in Cordoba coming up on August the 16th. And when it comes to their forwards, well, there's one man that's really standing out for me at the moment and has done for a couple of years now, Juan Martin Gonzalez. Yeah, he's playing fantastic rugby. As we head towards the Rugby World Cup in 2027, I expect him to be in his prime. He's a very, very good loose forward. He's also very good at number 8. So no matter where Contaponi puts him in this Argentinian team, I think he's going to be a standout. Watch for him in the jackal. He's very, very good in there. He's also great in the line-out, and he's very good in open play if he's able to get a bit of a break on and have a bit of a run around the field. Watch out for Juan Martin Gonzalez for Argentina. Moving on to the backs for Argentina, and the standout I think in this series is going to be Tomas Albanos. He's absolutely brilliant at number 10. We saw how much they missed him during those early games this year with Santiago Carreras being in there. Different type of player, and I think Albanos is way better than Santiago Carreras, and I hope we get to see his talent throughout this year's Rugby Championship. He's brilliant with his kicking as well, both from the tee and in general play, but he's got that ability in the back line to set this Argentinian back line away. So watch out for Tomas Albanos. He's my pick as far as a potential game changer for the Pumas across this year's Rugby Championship. Okay, that brings us on to the Springboks, and I've saved the best to last potentially. And who do I think from the Springboks forwards is going to be a standout across this year's Rugby Championship? Well, for me, he always delivers. It's Peter Steph du Toit. Absolutely fantastic, and I think we're going to see him have another brilliant Rugby Championship. He's got all the Taylor makings of standing up this year, taking on the All Blacks at home, both in Eden Park and also in Wellington. So I expect Peter Steph du Toit to be super motivated this year to have a very, very big series, and I think he's the kind of guy who can really steal the show for the Springboks and do some great stuff. He loves standing on the outside channels as well, so if he gets a chance to run down the sideline and set up the likes of Colby or Ardenser, then that's where we can see Peter Steph du Toit. But of course, most of his work is done in close, and it's done very, very quickly around the breakdown, so I expect him to have a fantastic series and to be a game changer for the Springboks this year. Okay, so what back do I think from the Springboks is going to have a standout series in the Rugby Championship? Well, I think it's going to be Grant Williams. He's already been playing super well this year so far. He's growing into that number 9 jersey position. He's got so much speed. He's great off both feet. He can elude players and go for a darting run to score a try. We've seen that so far this year as well. And he's also very good with his kicking as Grant Williams. He can put up the box kick very well to make sure that the competitive aspect of Ardenser and Colby can come through and really compete for that ball. So I expect Grant Williams to be a standout for the Springboks from the backs this year in the Rugby Championship. So there you go, a little bit of fun in this video. Hope you play along and tell me who you think will be the standout players. You're only allowed to pick one, and that's what makes this one very, very hard. One from each team. I look forward to reading them all in the comments. Okay, there we go. That's it for this particular video. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to follow us along in the Rugby Championship. I've got plenty more videos coming in terms of the build up to all the first games that are taking place. And of course, we'll get the review videos going as well after each of the game. And I'll give you my in-depth analysis of what I thought happened in those particular games. Only 12 days to go until the kickoff of this year's Rugby Championship. It's getting super exciting now, so let's all get into it. Okay, I'll see you all again soon. Stay safe, stay well, keep enjoying your rugby across the world. It's time to say adios from Inside Rugby with Mark here in Cancun, Mexico. Bye for now, everyone.